Well, she says it's called the thing, the barbecue thing, but I do call it the regulator. So I gotta go ahead and change the regulator out from my barbecue grill. It's the Char-Broil propane gas grill, and here I bought one from Amazon. It wasn't too expensive, honestly, compared to replacing the whole grill. And what was going on is that with the grill itself, the regulator it stopped working. It wouldn't feed gas through from the tank up to the burners themselves. And it happened occasionally. It didn't happen too often. There would be a time where I wanted to go out, do some grilling, and it wouldn't turn on. I'd turn on everything. The regulator did not work. No gas was being fed through into the burners. So I got to replace it. This is the instruction manual. I do need to glance this over since I've never done this before in my life. So I don't want to make any mistakes. But it's pretty simple. It's just a few steps. It does tell you what tools you need. 3/4 inch wrench. Stuff that you should have in your garage. If you don't, it's good to have just in case for emergencies, things like that. But yeah, so I'm going to go and do this for the first time. And the first thing you want to do for sure is always unplug the propane tank. Make sure the knob is off. There's no gas coming out. Make sure it's completely off, and that way you can get started. Now where it connects into the actual burners is up here underneath. You can kind of see it on there. And last year when I tried to do this myself, I had a really hard time because I was trying to loosen them up and remove the regulator hose from the burners from underneath with wrenches. It was pretty much impossible. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some knobs off. I don't want those to get scratched at all when I work on this, in case I do need to put it on the ground, or I don't want to toss it around, but just in case, I want to keep them nice and shiny. And then what I'll do is I'm going to remove the whole front panel. There's 2 screws on each side, and I'm going to go ahead and use a screwdriver for that to make it easier. And then we'll go ahead and pull the whole thing out. There we go. Now it's still attached right here. You can see the markings themselves. When I tried to do it last year, it did kind of scratch up the actual part where it connects to with the wrenches, just because it kept slipping. It was kind of hard to get a good grip on that area from underneath. So I do want to go ahead and pull this whole thing out. Now at first I want to try to do it by just from this area without taking the whole thing off, but it is extremely tight. Honestly, I was using as much force as I could, and I cannot take it off at all whatsoever. So I guess I do need to go ahead and take that small panel, that black panel off right above the door itself, so that way I could pull the whole thing out, because there's not much space to squeeze that regulator out from that area. Now there are 2 screws on each side of these of this small little panel that I'm able to loosen up, which will allow me to pull the whole thing out. Alright, so now what I did have to do is I did have to kind of like put my feet on each side, so that way I can get a good position and just force with that wrench, kind of like loosen it up at first, and from there it was pretty easy. It came undone afterwards. So I'm going to go and put the new one in, and here I'm just going to go and attach it, screw it in as far as it goes. Now you do want to use the wrench to tighten up as much as possible, so that way there's no leakage, and then it'll work well. So I'm going to put everything back together again. I want to go and feed the regulator through the front of that opening to put everything back. I do want to reconnect my ignition cables or wires back into that battery area, so that way I'm able to ignite the grill each time I do want to use it. And from there, just carefully try to put this back in, make sure that everything's lined up properly, and from there you just want to go ahead and put those 2 screws on each side back onto it, so that way to hold it in place. And that grill kind of seems like it's shocked, right? There's like 2 eyes, and like the mouth is like open, saying, "What are you doing to me?" Well, anyways, so yeah, and I'm in the back right now trying to put that panel back in place right above the door. So next thing we want to do is check for leakage. We want to make sure there's no leaking propane gas coming out from anywhere throughout the regulator system. It goes from like where it connects to the propane tank, the actual regulator itself, where the hose starts, and then all the way up to where the hose connects to the burner itself. So that's what we want to go and test out. Just get some soapy water, just pour it onto these areas, turn on the propane tank, and make sure that it's all good. So far, we were able to do it successfully, so not bad for the first time. It works well. I am extremely happy with that. I do want to thank you for watching. Take care and have a great day.